Now in the studio we have Marion Mays. She is the founder of Thalia Stanley Group. She has 20 years experience, or over 20 years experience, in finance, banking, real estate. She knows her stuff, this lady, so we're blessed to have her in the studio. Thanks, Marion, for joining us.
Thanks, Fiona, for having me in the room today.
In the room.
In the room.
Yeah, look, I want to know about Thalia Stanley. How did it all start? Who's your target market? Who are you trying to reach and speak to?
Yeah, so I've been working in financial services for well over 20 years, and I've worked in every aspect of financial services. And I decided that I didn't really like the way the industry was operating, i.e. financial advisors are gurus and you're the novice and you don't know anything. So a couple of years ago I decided to go out on my own and set up Thalia Stanley Group. Thalia was my mother's name, Stanley was my father's name, so the company is set up in honour of my parents.
Lovely.
Our target market is women, so we run financial literacy programs to assist women in developing their skills in financial literacy. And that might seem like a really odd thing for me to say because we're all grown-up adults and we've finished school, but what we find in our financial literacy workshops is that we have really smart, savvy, sophisticated women coming and they don't have any financial literacy. So first and foremost, it's women and it's about financial literacy, and then on top of that, we teach wealth advocacy, and then on top of that, I mentor women to invest in property and build their own portfolios.
Oh, go ahead. I was just wondering about financial literacy. How do you actually define that? What does it mean, just knowing how to drop a budget, or?
Yeah, it's a really fantastic question. So financial literacy relates to two things. One, we need to earn money and then manage that money that we earn. And some people think that's building wealth. Some people think if they're grown up and they go to work and they earn money and they have a credit card, that's financial literacy. That's just earning and managing money. The other aspect of that is you need to know how to make money from money. Nobody ever got wealthy from their salary. Your salary is to live and to pay your living expenses. You can only build wealth from the money that you earn, that you invest.
So why do you think people don't have financial literacy then?
I know. Look, it's really mind-blowing to me that, as I said, we have all these smart, educated women coming to our events. It's not taught in the national academic system as we sit here today. So I don't know about you, but I did home economics and I did woodwork and I did textiles, but I didn't do financial literacy. So there's no education or national curriculum for it. And then we go out into the workforce and we earn money.
But it seems a step beyond budgeting and earning money. You're talking about making your money work for you. What are those extra steps that you're teaching women besides the budgeting?
Yeah, fantastic. So the first thing we're teaching women is about managing the money that they do have. So that's the budgeting stuff that you talk about. And we mean really having a budget, yeah? So often women will say, you know, I earn $100,000 a year and I don't spend anything. I don't like shopping, but I don't have any money in the bank. So there's a gap in between that and the reality. The other steps beyond that are understanding the different investment options, how to invest, how to manage risk.
Such as investing in property,
investing in the share market, investing in managed funds, investing in property, which is a more common one, direct property. So different investment classes. So how to invest in different investment classes, managing risk.
What about for mums who are stay-at-home mums, not making an income, or even mums who work part-time? You talk about, you know, increasing the wages that you have, but how can you do that when you, for some of us, don't have much?
Yeah, when you're a stay-at-home mum and you don't have a paid income, so to speak. So that's an element of wealth creation, really. As you just touched on, if you're not bringing in money, then it's hard to be able to invest that money to build wealth. What I always recommend to stay-at-home mums is that, you know, there's a great saying that the best protection for any woman is a little bit of her own money. I love that saying. And so what I say to stay-at-home mums is find something that you're deeply passionate about, something that calls you to be in service, or something that you're just really skilled at doing, yeah, and monetize that. Whether that be an MLM type business, so multi-level marketing. You know, I know a lady who's a single mum. She has 3 kids. One's 3 years old, one's in primary school, and one's fully grown. And she makes $10,000 a year, $10,000 a month from selling essential oils. So whether that be multi-level marketing or photography, you know, now you can sell your photographic shoots to stock libraries. So monetize a passion and then you do have money. And I think that's critically important whether you're a stay-at-home mum who doesn't have the capacity to earn income. I think that's really important to have some of your own money.
Yeah, I think, Marion, I think sometimes we just see what our parents have done and then we just copy what they've done. But it seems as though you're saying, you know, you have your salary that's paying for your bills, but then it's that little something extra that's helping you get to build wealth.
Yeah, Rachel, and I love what you just said, that wealth is intergenerational. Like, I honestly believe from the 2 decades of work that I've done, we inherit our wealth or our poverty mentality. So our parents were all doing the best they could do, right, with what they knew. And for all of us, certainly is true for me. I mean, my parents said, don't ever borrow money and just pay for everything. And if you can't afford to pay for it, then don't have it. Now, had I have listened to my parents, I wouldn't have started building a property portfolio in my early 20s.
Wow.
Because their mentality was not to borrow money. So wealth is very intergenerational, and we inherit often our parents' money story as well, over and beyond that.
It's interesting you say that because statistics show 1 in 4 children will be exposed to domestic abuse, and there's signs of financial abuse which we know about. What are some signs that women should see if they feel like they are in circumstances of financial abuse?
Yeah, so financial abuse is really a very new topic in the area of domestic violence. So we all understand physical abuse and emotional and psychological abuse, but it's only been to recent years that we've really understood that you can be financially abused. So what does that look like? What are some of the warning signs? A husband that says to you, you cannot work. There's a difference to a husband that says, darling, you don't need to work. Yeah,
I got you covered.
Yeah, I got this. So a husband that says you cannot work, or a husband, if you do work, that takes all the money and isolates it into one bank account and then gives you an allowance. And with that allowance, you have to report back with accountability as to how you've spent that money. Now, we see this with victims all the time, that they're given $100 to do the whole week.
And they think it's good because it's an allowance. So they think, oh, no, I get money from my husband.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're given a small amount of money and they're told, you need to go and do the grocery shopping, here's $100 and bring back change.
Wow.
Obviously a sign of financial abuse. Some of the less common signs of financial abuse, and something to be really mindful for all women, is having someone ask you to take credit out in your name. So it's really quite casual at the time, perhaps. Credit cards, personal loans, utilities, bills, telephones. And then there's a more serious type of financial abuse where you're putting things like mortgages and bigger debts in your name.
And your name alone?
Or in your partner's name under duress. So an example we had with a victim recently was that her partner insisted she move an hour's drive from her family and friends and her network, and then committed to a mortgage that was very substantial.
So they isolate their victim.
Now isolate, and then she's committed to the debt now, and so she's really financially and physically stuck in that situation.
Can you break out of it if you're really in that situation? How do you break out of it?
It's a really good question, to which it's not such an easy answer, because what we know, all domestic violence victims tell us, or most of them tell us at the time, they didn't understand that it was abuse. They didn't understand the 3 credit cards in their name, or the personal loan in their name, or the mortgage in their name was actually abuse. So it's a process to break out of it. It's not so easy. And this is why in our financial literacy programs we say to women, even if you're married to the most amazing man in the world who's super wealthy, you need to have your own money. You need to have financial literacy.
So important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Marion, for sharing your expertise with us. Marion is offering a limited number of viewers complimentary finance consultations valued at $370 each. If you're in Sydney or Melbourne, she'll see you in person. If you live elsewhere in Australia, your consultation will be via online video conference. All you need to do is email hello@thetabletv.com or call us on 1300 389. The details are right there on your screen. Ladies, thank you so much for your chat. Marion, again, awesome. Have a great week. God bless.
Thank you.